Hey everyone, my name is Riley, and in this video I'm going to break down exactly how much it costs to start and maintain an LLC. Now, forming an LLC comes with several costs, including things like state fees, registered agent services, and other optional expenses like business licenses. You can see a breakdown of all of these costs on screen right now. So I will walk you through each of these step by step. Plus, I will also introduce you to my recommended LLC formation service that handles everything for you and also provides unlimited phone and email support. So if you ever run into legal or compliance questions later on, you will have expert guidance available. As a quick disclaimer, I am an affiliate for the service that I will be recommending. So if you do choose to use them, I will earn a small commission at no extra cost to you. I have done extensive research on LLC formation services, and this is the one that I trust the most. So this is why I'm recommending it. So jumping into the costs, the first cost that goes into forming an LLC is the state filing fees. This is the biggest upfront cost when forming an LLC, and this is a one-time fee that is paid to the state when you officially register your business. Each state is going to have different fees, and these typically range from $40 all the way up to $500. So some of the cheaper states are Kentucky and Arkansas, which are $40 and $45 respectively. Some of the most expensive states are Massachusetts, which is $500, and California, which is $70 plus an $800 annual tax. With those aside, some of the more popular states that people tend to form LLCs in are Florida, which is $125, Texas, which is $300, and New York, which is $200 plus publication costs. And with these publication costs, I'll touch on these a little more later on in the video. But as you can see, the state filing fee is going to massively differ depending on which state you are in. And to check the exact cost in your specific state, I will leave a link to Bizee, which is my recommended LLC formation service. And in here, you can enter your state and you can see the filing fees for your location. Now, cost number 2 is going to be registered agent fees, and this is if you need a registered agent. Now, every LLC needs a registered agent, but whether you want to pay for this is completely up to you. A registered agent is essentially somebody who receives the legal and tax documents on behalf of your company, and you can stand as your own registered agent. This is completely free if you do want to do this, but you must be available during business hours at the physical address, and your address will also be made public. So the more popular approach to a registered agent is to use a registered agent service. Some of the most popular registered agent services are Bizee, Northwest Registered Agent, and Zen Business, and I will put all of their prices on screen. One of the reasons that once again I recommend Bizee is because they include a free registered agent service for the first year. Now, cost number 3 that goes into forming an LLC is going to be the operating agreement. Now, once again, this is completely optional, but this is highly recommended. An operating agreement is going to outline how your LLC will be managed, including the ownerships, the voting rights, and the profit distribution. An operating agreement is not required in every state, but it is highly recommended, especially for multi-member LLCs. Some of the reasons that you might need an operating agreement and how this is going to help is this is going to help prevent legal disputes against business partners. This is going to strengthen your legal protection, especially for a single member LLC. And this is also required in some states like California, New York, and Missouri. So all of the options to get an operating agreement is to do it yourself. And to do this, you would just use online templates and then customize them for your own LLC. The second option is going to be using an LLC formation service. And the third is going to be an attorney drafted operating agreement. But this is only really necessary for a complex business structure. And this is by far the most expensive. This is going to cost anywhere between $300 to $1,000. From there, cost number 4 is going to be an employer identification number. And this is essentially like a social security number for your business. So an EIN, or an employer identification number, is going to be required if you want to hire employees, if you want to open a business bank account, and if you want to file business taxes separately from your personal taxes. With an EIN, you can get an EIN for free on the IRS website. This is really, really easy to do, but some LLC formation services do include this as part of their service when you set your LLC up through them. What I would say about this though is with this, if it's not included in the plan when you are setting up your LLC, a lot of these will charge like $50 to $70 to set this up for you. If this is not included, I wouldn't recommend doing this because it's actually really easy to do on the IRS website and it takes about 2 minutes. From there, another thing that you are going to need, and the next cost, is going to be business licenses and permits. Now, these are really going to vary by the industry and location you are in, but these are some of the most common business licenses and costs that you might need. So a big one is going to be general business licenses, and this is going to be anywhere between $50 to $500 depending on your state and city. You also might need a sales tax permit if you are selling products. Another one is going to be professional licenses. So if you are a contractor or an accountant, you might need a professional license, and this is going to cost anywhere between $100 and $500. And then another big one is going to be health permits. So this is for like restaurants or salons if you run either of these. And once again, this really widely ranges anywhere between $50 and $1,000. So since every business has different requirements and different permits that you will need, I can't give you an exact cost for your specific case because you might not need any permits or you might need multiple costly ones. And then the sixth and final cost that may go into setting up your LLC is a publication fee. And this is only required in some states. So in some states, they do require you to publish a notice in the local newspaper about your formed LLC. With this is once again going to widely vary in the cost depending on the county you are in. And the states that require an LLC publication is New York, Arizona, and Nebraska. So those are all of the costs that go into forming an LLC. And if you want to make this official and get your LLC formed, the way that I recommend doing this is through Bizee. The reason that Bizee is the easiest and most reliable way to do this is because they simplify all the paperwork, they ensure you meet all of the legal requirements, and they even offer a free registered agent service for that first year. So no matter what state you are in or the licenses you require, Bizee is the best way to get this done quickly and correctly. So if you're ready to make this official and you're ready to form your LLC, let's jump into my screen and I will show you exactly how to do this with Bizee. So to get started with Bizee, click on the top link in the description, and that is going to take you over to this screen. So once we are on this screen right here, we want to go ahead and click on Form Your LLC Now, this big orange button, and it's then going to take us over to this page. So in here, all we have to do is switch the entity type to LLC, and then for the state, you want to go ahead and select the state that you are forming your LLC in. So in this example, we will go for Kentucky, and we can see right here, we have the price for Bizee. So they have a free plan, they have the standard plan, and then they have premium. And then underneath, we can see the mandatory state fee that we have to pay to the state either way. So with this is going to change depending on the state you are in. As an example, if we go to Michigan, this is $50. If we go to New York, this is going to be $205, but the Bizee price is going to remain the same. From these plans, the one that I recommend is going to be the standard plan right here, and that is because we get all of the essentials that we need to really get the most out of Bizee. In this, we get the preparation and the filing of the articles of organization, we get the free registered agent service, we get our EIN business tax number created for us, we get the operating agreement created for us, we get lifetime compliance alerts to make sure you are compliant, unlimited phone and email support. This is the biggest one right here, because with this, at any time, if you have any legal questions that you are unsure about, you can just give Bizee a call and they will be able to answer any questions that you have. So as I said, this is the plan that I recommend. So we can select that right here and then click on Get Started. And from here, we now want to go ahead and fill out the rest of this information. So we just want to go in and we want to name our LLC. So I'm going to call this Holden North. And if the LLC is not available, it's going to tell you right here if the name isn't available. So this clearly is, as we have the check mark. So we can go ahead and click on next. And then we can choose if we want the expedited filing time. So in here, we can basically say, do we want to pay $50 and get the process sped up within 1 day? This changes depending on the state. So with New York, this is super quick. This is 1 day for $50. Or we can stick with the standard filing time. It really just depends on how much of a rush you are in to file your LLC. So we can go ahead and select this and then click on next. Go ahead and fill in your information right here. And then from here, we can click on next. We can then choose if we want to get a virtual business address or whether you want to use your own address. So from this, essentially what this means is if we use our own address, then our address is going to be public. As it says right here, any residential address provided to the state will be listed publicly. So if you want to avoid this, if you don't want your address and personal information to be public, that is the reason that you would move to a virtual mailing address. Essentially, the way that this works is any mail that gets mailed to this address, this will be scanned and then forwarded to you via email. So this is $29 per month. This is fantastic value in my opinion. And then from here, we can go down and you want to enter in your actual contact address. So even though we are entering this, if we go with the private address, once again, this will not be made public. Once that is entered, we can then click on next and go through to the next step. And in here, they then offer us an upsell if we want to get this 25 contract library, if we want to get expedited filing and a business phone number. This is completely optional. It's really not necessary. So I'm just going to skip this. In here, this is where we can add the member information for all of the members that are going to be part of the LLC. So in here, we just select the number of members that are going to be a part of this. I'm just going to go with 1. And then in here, we fill out the member information and add all of the members to the LLC. This next screen is where we can opt in to the registered agent service. So as it says right here, this is free for the first year. This is a big reason why we go with Bizee in the first place. So for this, we definitely want to take this free registered agent service. So we just click right here on assign Bizee as my registered agent, and then we can click on next. And in here, this is where we are now going to set up our EIN or the employer identification number. So to do this, what we are going to do is just fill in some information right here. And then to obtain the EIN, we need to either provide a social security number or an ITIN number. So for this, I highly recommend going with social security because with ITIN, this takes a lot longer in order to actually obtain the EIN. So if this is something that you do want to do, just keep in mind that this will take 12 weeks to obtain. So it's better off going with a social security number because you get a much faster turnaround time on your EIN. Once we have this entered in, we can then go down to the bottom of the screen. Just make sure this address is correct and then click on next. It's then going to ask if we want to use Bizee's partners to set up our business banking. Once again, this is not necessary. You definitely do not need to do this, but it does make it a little bit easier because everything will be in one dashboard. So if we do want to use this, we can go, yes, I'm interested, and we can set up the banking that way. But just for this example, I'm going to say, ask me later. We then get asked if we want to set up a free tax strategy call. So there are no strings attached with this. This is something I once again highly recommend. So we can opt into that just by clicking here. We then get an order summary for the LLC that we are creating. So just scroll through this right here and make sure all of this information is correct and you have set this all up correctly. And then once you have, we can just go down and click on next. This right here is the final step, so all we now need to do is enter in the payment method that we would like to use in order to set up and form the LLC. So once that is entered, we can then click on agree right here, click on complete and pay, and that is how you can set up your LLC with Bizee. So those are all of the costs that go into forming an LLC, as well as how you can get started and set up your LLC today with Bizee. If you found this video valuable, don't forget to smash that like button and tap that subscribe button. And until next time, take it easy.